Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today's video is all about contracts. If you are a bridal hair and or bridal makeup artist, this video is for you. We're talking all about contracts. So contracts can be one of the most boring things in your business, if I'm being honest. It's not really fun to talk about. It's not fun. It's certainly not fun to make them or any of that, but most of us know that they are important. And if not, this video I'm going to tell you why you absolutely must have one for your business, because it's going to protect you, your business, and your clients, and it's going to ensure that you get paid. So we're going to talk about all those things. I'm going to talk about what you should have in a contract and yeah, all that fun stuff. So if my voice sounds like it's going a little bit, it is. I don't know what's going on. The past couple days, it's just, I don't know, it's like slowly going. So anyways, hopefully I can make it through this video. So step number one, first thing, you must have a contract in your business because it's going to protect you if something happens while you're on the job. It's also going to keep everything running as smoothly as possible, so it's stress-free, hassle-free, and so you get paid. The number one reason people get burnt out in their businesses is because they don't have proper systems set in place. They don't have proper contracts, agreements, they don't have proper things set in place, and therefore they run into situations that stress them out. They run into problems and issues that they never expected because certain things weren't in place. And I can assure you, pretty much anything that could happen on a wedding has probably happened to me, and which is why it is now in my contract. I originally thought, way back in the beginning, years and years ago when I first started in the bridal industry, I thought all I needed was the names of all the people in the bridal party, the bride's name, maybe her phone number, maybe a couple other things, but that was the basic gist of it. I just thought if I had the number of people getting services and their names, and that I was good. That's all I needed to know. But oh no, was I way wrong? So I'm going to tell you everything you should have in a contract. So the first thing you should have in the contract, you should have things like the bride's name, you should have the event date, you should have the getting ready location, you should have photographer's name if you are wanting to repost some of the photographer's pictures later on to market for your own purposes. You should have things, you need to have retainer payment agreement, you need to have basically everything that you tell the bride when they inquire. It pretty much needs to be in the contract so it can be referred back to. You need to have a cancellation policy in there. What if the bride has to cancel her wedding? Now you pretty much should have some kind of like COVID policy, because some brides are expecting that, but what if someone is sick, they do have to cancel a wedding? That needs to be in there. You need to have things like a social media agreement. Is it okay? Is your bride okay if you take pictures and video the day of the wedding and at the trial appointments and post them on your social media channels for marketing purposes? You need to have signature from the bride and yourself stating that you both agree on all of these terms and conditions. You need to have things like parking tolls and fees. What if you travel to a wedding and maybe you didn't know there was parking tolls until you started driving? That happened to me. I remember one time I was going to a wedding and I had to park. It was in like a downtown area. I had to park somewhere and I had to pay for parking, and I did not know that until the day of the wedding, and I was like, shoot, I don't have that in my contract. Like, I'm gonna have to eat those costs. So now that's all in my contract. So if I do run into any toll bridges or parking situations where I need to pay, I can easily bill my clients for that after the wedding and they're responsible for paying for that because it's in my contract. Things like that are going to save you so much money over time. Also, what happens when a bride books with you, and say they book with 7 people total when she originally books with you, but as it gets closer to the wedding, like a week or 2 before, the bride is like, oh, I only have 5 bridesmaids getting hair done now. 2 of them decided not to get hair anymore. No, because that is taking a huge chunk of your pay out, and you were banking on getting that money. You were already prepared to get paid that certain amount for that day. And what if another wedding party inquired months ago about that date, and they maybe were a larger wedding party? Maybe you could have made more doing this other wedding party, but you turned them down because you took this one. So you need to have things like that in place. So for instance, that's one thing in my contract is the amount of services that are booked at the time of booking have to remain on the contract. They cannot subtract people off of the contract once it is booked. They can always substitute. If someone gets sick and they can't make it to the wedding, I do allow substitutions, so they can substitute another family member in that place. But the amount of services on the contract at the time of booking has to remain on the contract. Things like that are going to save you so much money. And if you're running your bridal business and maybe you're wanting to do it full-time, or you do it full-time, these are things you have to have in place in order to be able to do it full-time, to go full-time with it, and to make more money and to grow your business if that's your long-term goal. So pretty much anything that I have in my contracts are just things I've learned over time for doing it for over 10 years now. I would constantly run into little things. For instance, another situation I had one time was I was doing a wedding, and this had never happened up until this point, and then next thing I know, I'm working on bridesmaids, working on their hair, and I have this wall behind me where I like set up all my products and my mirror, and I have the bridesmaids literally asking for quite a few bobby pins, not just 1 or 2. It was a whole handful, and they needed them to hot glue them on their hair accessories. Like, that should have been done like prior with your own bobby pins, because they were not paying for them. This was just additional on top. Then next thing you know, I have a girl who's not even a bridesmaid. She's not even in the wedding. She's with them, but she's not like actually in the wedding party. Keeps running behind me and grabbing my hairspray without asking me. I did not even know what to do or what to say at the time when that happened. And she's using my mirror. She came back at least 3 times to use the hairspray in like the same spot it looked like. But I was in the middle of working on a bridesmaid when it happened, had no clue what to do or say. So now that is also in my contract that they're not allowed to use the professional's hair and or makeup products, their disposables, their bobby pins. They must provide that themselves, because the only things getting used are what we are using on the people that have booked services with us that day. So that was another thing. And especially nowadays with the price of products and bobby pins and makeup and all of that has gone up so much, it's your business is going to eat the cost after a while. If you have multiple people getting handfuls of bobby pins and using these products, I mean, the products go pretty fast on a wedding day. So just little things like that to keep in mind. Over time, your business is going to lose money. That's why a contract is so important. But what it does is it establishes clear guidelines for them. They know exactly what to expect. And another big thing you want to have in there is how much time is allotted. So if you have this amount of people, I also have it stated in my contract that we take people consecutively, because I've had brides in the past that think that they can have like bridesmaid every 30, 45 minutes. And then I've had brides make timelines where there's almost a 2-hour gap in between where I'm just sitting waiting around, and I'm like, no. So again, having all of that in your contract establishes clear guidelines to where you're not wasting time on a wedding day sitting around waiting for the next person to come because that's how the bride scheduled it. It's very clear in my contract how I work on the wedding day. It's consecutive order, one after the other, and roughly it's going to be about this many hours. That all needs to be clear and established and said up front before the signing of the contract, so that way the bride is clear, understands how it runs, and that way it works so much better for everybody. With all that being said, I do have my personal bridal hair and makeup contract up for purchase. It is $129. If you're interested, I will put it down. This is something that I have worked on for years, like I said, with so many different experiences and things that I've run into. I've lost money so much money in the past just because I didn't have certain things in my contract. And when you have things in your contract, if something comes up on the wedding day or maybe the week or two right before the wedding, the bride's like asking you questions and throwing in things real quick, you can simply just say, as stated in my contract, this. And if you don't have that down, then you don't really have the grounds to say or do anything about certain situations. So if you are interested, I will link that below for you guys. Like I said, a contract is a must-have, and especially if you're starting out, make sure you have a good contract with everything laid out, clear. It will save you so much in the future. And another situation, this is another thing that I've added into my contract, so is a relocation fee. So one time I had a bride who was getting ready at a hotel, and because they were not allowed into the venue until I think like 11 o'clock that morning, but because of the timeline we needed to start earlier. So she just threw in there, she didn't know, was like, okay, we can start getting ready at the hotel at 9, and then the venue opens up at 11, so then we can just all transfer over there to the venue at this time. And I was like, whoa, like, wait a second. And it was only maybe 2 minutes down the road, which sounds like piece of cake, no big deal, super close, we'll just do a quick switch. There is nothing quick about moving a hair or makeup artist plus 7, 8, 9 people to a different location. It takes way more time than you would think. So that is now added into my contract as an additional fee if we have to relocate. And the fee is to actually deter that from happening and to deter brides from not doing that, because it's such a hassle to pack up hot tools that are already hot and all your products and everything and get it in the kit, then get it back out to pack up all your makeup products when you got them all laid out. Such a hassle. So that is another thing I've added in my contract. So anyways, I wanted to tell you guys a few stories of some crazy things that have happened, just things that have come up that were kind of headaches. And these have happened like long time ago, but now are in my contract. And I just wanted to tell you, just give you some examples of why having a contract is so important for you and your business and your client. So hopefully you found this helpful. Again, my contract is linked below if you're interested in purchasing one. If you need one, go grab it. It is a must-have. It's super easy to customize using Canva. And if you do use HoneyBook, which I do, I love HoneyBook, you guys. I've done a video about it. I will link that down below too. I have a referral code if you want to try HoneyBook for like, I think literally $1 a month. It is so amazing. It keeps everything organized in my bridal business. It's just makes everything so easy. But if you use HoneyBook, you can easily upload the contract into HoneyBook, and they literally like embed it into HoneyBook for you. And then all the places where the client needs to fill in when you upload it on HoneyBook, it's automatically easily just clickable and fillable, if that makes sense. So that's how my contract is. It's not actually in like PDF form. It's already like uploaded and embedded into my HoneyBook system. So I just easily send it over to my brides when they inquire, and then they just easily go through and like click each fillable item and fill in their information, sign it on HoneyBook electronically, boom, done. It's so easy. It's easy for my bride, easy for me. But yeah, I just can't say enough good things about HoneyBook. I get excited talking about it because it's literally my everything. So I'll link that below for you guys too. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about contracts, you guys can DM me on Instagram at megan.lorson. Comment below if you have any questions. If you have any comments about things that have happened to you as a bridal hair and or makeup artist, or anything specific you have in your contract, let us know below. I'd love to see what you have in your contract. And until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.